What's up, everybody? Brant Phillips with Real Estate Fundamentals. So I'm bringing another case study to you. So I've been getting some requests for you guys to do more case studies. I know there's a lot of YouTube videos out there, a lot of gurus out there who are teaching, they're preaching, but are they actually doing real estate today in today's market? Hey, I don't know. I'm not judging. I know some are, some aren't. I know that I am. I've been doing this 15 years and hundreds and hundreds of homes. And so I'm going to, respond to you guys and give you what you want. So more case studies, more real life, real estate, things that are going on in today's market, because we're in a crazy time in the world in terms of the real estate market, the economy, the world in general, right? So things are going to continue to evolve. So what my goal is really at these case studies is giving you like real lessons that you can extract and apply into your business. Things that are fundamental to not only flipping a house and making some money, but staying sustainable with your business, right? So I'm very proud of the fact that we've flipped and done hundreds and hundreds of deals. And, we're going into this 15, 16 years now, and I'm still in business and I'm thriving. And I know that, 9 out of 10 businesses fail and all that kind of stuff. So my goal with, my videos and my trainings to give you things that are really, really fundamental, things that are going to help you flourish, things that are going to help you build a true, repeatable business that you can thrive in any market. Okay, so let's get into the case study. So saving some of these details to the end. How I want to start with this is go through some before and after pictures on the rehab of what we've done, and like, hey, this is YouTube. I need some engagement. I need some comments. I need some likes and all that kind of stuff. And what I'm going to do on this is within the next, let's say in the next week, whoever has the best question, the best comment or question, it could be either one, you're going to get a prize. You're going to get a book. You can either get a copy of my Private Lender Playbook, or you can get a copy of my How to Flip a House book. And this book is actually in the process of being updated. It's been my 10-year anniversary since I wrote this book. That tells you I've been doing this a long time. But you can get How to Flip a House or the Private Lender Playbook, and I will personally have this mailed to you, and I'll sign it and put it in the mail. All right, so there you go. So opportunity to earn a little prize here watching this video. You got to watch till the end. Have the best comment or question. So let's get into this case study flip. Now with this one, let me go back real quick. So the only things I was going to share right here is how do we get our deals? That's a question I get all the time. The best way to get deals and good deals is you open up multiple lead valves. Okay, so we do a lot of different marketing efforts for our business. One of our primary lead valves, though, is SEO marketing, search engine optimization. It's not something I recommend for newbies or for those looking for like a short, quick hit, like a pay-per-click and things like that, where you can put some ad spend in and get results instantly. SEO is more like building muscle, okay? It's going to take some time. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take some work. But once you start building that SEO muscle, and that's what we've done over many, many, many years, it works really well and much more cost efficient than, say, pay-per-click. But anyways, this is an SEO marketing deal, and we finance all our deals with private money. You guys know that about me. You've been watching me for any period of time. That's why I wrote the Private Lender Playbook. It's not the reason I wrote it, but I wrote it to educate and train our lenders about the private lending process, right? And so that's what we teach a lot of too, is leading with value, helping people. That's how we buy houses a lot of times. We have content and information that is helpful to sellers who may be in that motivated state, maybe in a position that they need to sell their home quickly, or they've inherited a property, they're behind on taxes, whatever. We help them with information, with resources, with phone calls, helping them. And a lot of times that comes back to bear some fruit to our business in the form of deals. Okay, so those are a couple things on this deal. So this deal honestly, guys, like, this is a bread and butter deal. Okay, if all of our flips could be exactly like this one, we would do it. We don't have that control. Our flip deals come in all various forms, shapes, and sizes and whatnot, and that's fine. But this, if I had to say, what is ideal? This is ideal. Why is it ideal? Newer construction, okay? Not a ton, like we didn't do a ton of rehab. We did easy kind of lipstick rehab. We have multiple exit strategies with this property, which is one of my key fundamentals, is always having multiple exit strategies in each and every deal. You can flip it, you can rent it, you can own or finance it, you can wholesale it, whatever. You have all these options to be sustainable. And last and certainly not least, this property, I talk about this a lot, is we like to invest at medium price housing and below. Not medium price housing and above, medium price housing and below. So this home is just under that medium price housing price level in our market. So for those reasons, we love this deal. So a few before and after pictures, obviously this house is in pretty good shape. We did do some minor foundation repair. Probably could have got by without doing it, but we did it. We also replaced this sidewalk. You see here is kind of hard to see here. This picture doesn't really tell it justice. This one piece was really wonky and it was chipping away, and there was actually a pretty big gap there and here. You can see between the driveway and there. So we end up replacing the whole thing. They weren't supposed to replace the whole thing. It was also kind of a miscommunication, which happens quite frequently with contractors, unfortunately. As long as I've been doing this, it still happens on occasion. But we did do minor foundation work. We did install a new roof, and we did install a new sidewalk. You can even see the driveway here. There's a 2 or 3 inch gap between the driveway and the garage. We contemplated doing the driveway, or at least this square, a partial driveway, but we did not do that, so we saved some money. Okay, you can kind of see it a little bit better right there. Cleaned up some of the bushes. We had a freeze here in Houston, Texas a few months ago, so we got Texas bushes down here. They're not used to all this cold weather stuff, so we had to remove some of those dead bushes. Inside, pretty simple. This is what I call a lipstick rehab, right? So, just doing the basics. Always taking our meds, minimum effective dose. So we did the paint. We did flooring. This is a vinyl flooring, very cost effective. We're using it in most of our flips now. And we did update the light fixtures, put a little tile around the fireplace. Now, one thing I will point out with the fireplace is a lot of times you'll see 1 or 2 tiles in front of the fireplace, and that takes 12 to 24 inches away from the living space. We don't like to do that, right? Especially on the smaller rooms. This picture is a little bit distorted. It was not as narrow as it may look. But whenever you put that tile in front of the fireplace, it really makes the area feel smaller, right? The walk space, the usable space and whatnot. So we just get rid of it. We install our flooring right up to the fireplace, and just makes it look a little bit more spacious in there. Another quick little tip is we typically, almost always, we clean out the fireplaces when we have them, and we spray it with high temp black paint. That's a spray can of high temp black paint. It's probably $7-8 at Home Depot. It may take 2 cans, but it just gives it a nice clean look there. And I think we replaced that door and blinds, but none of the windows. We kept all the windows. Okay, this is the entry. We did do a new entry tile, vinyl there in the dining room, new light fixture, new blinds. There's another view there. You can see here how they had this fireplace tile coming out. We just got rid of it. We could have accent painted or gel stained the mantle. We didn't. We just kept it really super simple here. All of the cabinets are existing. Okay, we just painted those. We did upgrade the countertops and the backsplash and the appliances and light fixtures in the kitchen. It's not a great view of the before and after. Oh, and we did install new tile. This tile was, I just think, outdated. It may have had some cracks. I don't recall. I don't see these houses a whole lot. We do a lot with pictures and 3D video tours and stuff like that. But you can see here that we painted the existing cabinets, put a new backsplash, new appliances, and yeah, for the most part, that was it. Pretty easy, simple rehab. Bedrooms, not a lot to show there. Carpet, paint, doorknobs. We always update. If you've got If we've got like gold fixtures or doorknobs, we update those with brushed nickel. And this light here, this is just a basic flush mount light. We get these little disc lights off of Amazon. They're like 10 or 15 bucks. We've been using those like in halls, bedrooms. They look similar to a recessed light, but a lot more inexpensive, a lot cheaper. So we use those in a lot of our flips. That's the master bedroom. We actually kept this fan. It wasn't gold, it was white. We just cleaned it, kept it. The master bath shower, that picture, I really can't stand that picture. I don't know what type of camera they were using or whatever angle. It was not narrow. You could be bigger than 50 pounds and actually fit in the shower. The weird thing is it was pretty wide. I don't know why that picture came out that way, but it was kind of gross before, and it's kind of baller after. Basic white tile, vertical accent stripe there, tile on the floor, and I wish we got a better picture there, but we did not. Couple of other things to note. Okay, so be careful letting your painters pick mirrors, because this mirror was like way too small when you see the space, but it didn't matter. We still sold the house. It never became an issue. We did replace the countertop and the sink, the tub. So these jacuzzi tubs or these garden tubs that you run into a lot of times just don't get used a whole lot, but they always, for some reason, are discolored. You see like the yellowish kind of black color. So to replace this tub and this tub surround, incredibly expensive. So we resurface, okay? So I'm not a big fan of resurfacing, but a lot of times what we've kind of seen, people don't use their tubs a whole lot. They mainly use a shower. So you can get some longevity out of resurfacing. So we use a resurfacing company here we've been working with for many years, and that's what we do. The hall bath, contemplated replacing this tub and tub surround, but it wasn't in bad shape. It was kind of green though. Green's, not always our most ideal color. So we kind of just threw a shower curtain up and did a countertop on there, mirror, toilet, light, and tile. So we updated everything else, but we did leave the tub and the tub surround. And this is the backyard. And I wish I had a picture or a video. Here, I've got this picture. It does not do it justice. It was a jungle. And not just with weeds. They were like little trees and branches that had grown all the way up the chimney. I wish I had a video. Did take a video at some point in time when I was there. It was like, oh my gosh. It was absolute jungle. So we did spend several $1,000s cleaning out the backyard, having its sod put down. Now, I will also tell you a little flip tip here. Is this grass was not that green when we took these pictures. So our photographer will, adjust the photos for landscaping to make, the grass come to life and things like that. So yeah, it was a jungle. Wish I had some more details for you guys. All right, so let's get into what matters. Okay, let's get into the numbers. Okay, so and what I'm going to share with you are some things over here that's going to share some of the fundamentals of the deal and what we're looking at. Okay, so the purchase price was $139,987. This was SEO lead, my acquisitions agent, direct to seller, no wholesaler or anything like that involved, no agent involved. Seller, I don't really know the story. I will tell you that we a lot of times make offers without even number, like instead of $139,000 or $140,000, he'll use random numbers and there's some psychology behind that. That's why it's $987. The projected repairs of what we thought it was going to be, it was in the low $32,000 range, ended up in the mid $37,000 range. That was mainly from the sidewalk and the roof. There was a chance we were going to keep the roof and just do a lot of repairs. Decided just to nix that idea and replace the roof completely. So we ended up selling the house after repair value, which was about what we thought. We made our offer based on a lower amount in the 255 to 265 range. Is a conservative range, especially in the market that we're in. So we'll make our offers on our conservative number, right? But whenever we get done with the rehab, we look at a few different things. One, the state of the market, meaning macro and micro. Big real estate market, what does that look like? And what does this market look like? Meaning like our subdivision, right? How many houses are for sale? I always like to say, is there a lot of green or a lot of red? So when we pull up our listings on the MLS or run our comps on the MLS, we can pull up that subdivision. If we see a lot of red, that's good. A lot of properties sold recently, because we're trying to, typically we'll pull comps from 6 months out. In today's market with interest rates going all over the place, we're trying to pull comps from 90 days just to be a little bit more on the safe side and seeing if there's any decrease in value. Well, that wasn't happening in the last few years. Everything's always going up. So now we're like, hey, is it going stagnant or even down? Is potentially what's going on right now. So, that's what we do, is we like to see, is there a lot of red or a lot of green? Green means active. Green is not good, right? We want to see very, very, very little green, meaning active properties, which are competition, and a lot of reds, and a lot of reds with low days on market. That's really critical. Okay. So our gross profit, if all went to whoops, did not mean to go there. The gross profit, and that's the HGTV numbers. Right? That's where we start like, hey, if we, purchase price, rehab kind of stuff like day one, what's your gross profit, right? That's stuff they use on HGTV. We don't use that, but I'll throw it out here because it's a popular HGTV number. But if you watch my last video, how we basically had a flip deal that we, made $5,000 on, maybe. It was not a good deal, but if you looked at the gross profit numbers, like, man, then you're going to make $100,000. Well, it turns out that holding costs are for real. Carrying costs are for real. Taxes and insurance and all this stuff, it adds up. And if you don't know your numbers, you're not going to be able to create a sustainable investing business. That's all there is to it. Hold time, 71 days. That's lightning fast, guys. That is not typical. So how do we do that? Okay, so number one, it all begins, if you read my book, How to Flip a House, this is based on the 7 fundamentals, all starts with your mindset, right? Not only your business, but each deal. What is the clarity and focus that you have going into that rehab, right? So it all started with, number one, day one, we closed. We already had a scope of work and a game plan to execute on, starting the demo, starting foundation, et cetera, et cetera. So we implemented what is called our 5 phases of rehab process to quickly get the rehab done, okay? And then on the back end of getting it sold, so, this was roughly, a $37,000 rehab. So we can typically do about $1,000 worth of rehab a day, right, when our guys are working. So the way that we view a rehab is if we're moving things along efficiently and we're not held up by, inclement weather, we don't have materials or something like that, we should be able to do about $30,000 of rehab in a month. Okay. That's a good baseline number. That's a good number that you can use. Sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, but that's a good baseline number. So this one, the guys did really, really good. I think we're in and out of this project in around 40 days. We went to market, immediately had multiple offers, but what was, I guess, a little bit more ideal in this one is this property was actually sold to an investor who was a cash buyer. Okay. So we didn't have to go through, financing and all that kind of stuff to get it done. Now they did take a little bit longer to close than we liked, because it could have closed even sooner. But by the time we were on the market, it had a 2 or 3 week close, and that's how we got this deal closed in start to finish in 71 days. So our actual net profit was in the $59,000 range. I don't have exact numbers, but I will show you how I got that number. And I came over here. I'm going to come over here now to our flip analyzer. So this is something that yours truly put together years ago, and there's probably better ones out there, to be honest. But this works, and this gives us the data that we need. That's very easy to input, very easy to read, and make a decision on. Okay, so you can see here our numbers. We bought the property. The after repaired value that we estimated the property was going to be $275,000. It also gives you a breakdown of the price per square foot. That gives you price per square foot of the purchase price. This is also one of the key indicators of a deal. And what I mean by that is when we go on the MLS, we like to be buying in whatever submarket we're in or subdivision we're in. We want to say, hey, are we the cheapest property being purchased in the last 6 months? Okay. And 99% of the time we are. And we're like, you know what? If no one else has bought anything cheaper in this market in the last 6 months, then we're probably good at this price. So anyway, that is one of the key indicators of a deal. Okay. Hey, are we the cheapest thing being bought in here? And if not, why? Do we need to renegotiate it? Maybe our property's a lot better. There's more distressed properties being bought. I don't know, but that's something that we look at. Okay. And rehab cost per square foot. Okay. So here's the really eye-opening thing, guys, is, if you saw the rehab and it was paint, and it was flooring, and it was countertops, and it was appliances, it was lights, it was the basic stuff that we do. That typical rehab not too long ago would have been about $15 to $18 a square foot. Yes, we did the roof and we did a little bit of concrete and foundation, but prices are going up, guys. We're routinely seeing things be in the $30 a square foot range for rehabs, and it just didn't used to be that way not long ago. So you've got to really be careful and watch this rehab cost number. Okay, this is an acquisition cost. We have very little cost on marketing. This mainly goes to my acquisitions agent and just some content and stuff like that we create for SEO. It's very, very low cost per deal. Okay, so that put us at a 65% LTV. Okay, once again, not net numbers, just your purchase price plus repairs, right, in relation to the property ARV was 65%, right? Our minimum acceptable LTV is 75%, right, to be just maybe be a deal. This one was 65%, which tells me this is a good deal. That is saying, hey, Brant, you potentially have a good deal here. Now, the stories don't always play out that way. Like sometimes deals, go better than others, and rehab is not as much as you think it's going to be, or you don't have problems, or houses quicker sell quicker than other houses, as you learned in my previous video. But this is putting us in a position to win, basically, when it comes to flipping a house. So when I reveal all the numbers, this is going to show you our financing costs that we paid 10% for financing. Also shows there we paid a 1% origination fee. These are just some of our holding costs, carrying costs, stuff like that. This stuff is real. So these are just formulas. It's percentage wise not 100% accurate, but pretty darn close. And this adds up over time. Okay. Commission rate, now half of that is my wife. It goes back to us. So we really about $8,000. We could add to our bottom line here. So now let's go down here. This is where it gets real important. So this is the HGTV numbers. You're watching those shows. They're misleading. Okay, I'll just put it like that. If we go down here, when we start factoring in our holding costs, like typically we're in this 4 to 7 month range is where we're actually realizing our profit. Okay, but on this one, because we had such a quick turnaround time on the rehab and a quick sale, then we were here in this $59,000 profit range, which is really good. And so here gets into some of the other key indicators of a deal. And this was important. Look, break even or minor profit after holding 12 months. So when we're analyzing a deal, we want to say, hey, if everything goes wrong or the market just comes to a screeching halt, whatever happens, if we had to hold this property for 12 months, could we at least break even or even make enough to buy a steak dinner? Then if so, then that's like something we're interested in. Because if you have a flip deal and you're in the red at 7 or 8 months, that's scary, guys. That means you have very little margin for error. So we like to have some margin for error. Number 2 is our ROI, return on investment, going to be more than 15% at the 6 month mark. Well, technically our return on investment is infinite because we don't have any money in these deals. I didn't really talk about this earlier, but when I say we raise private money, we raise 100% private money to fund our purchase price and our rehab. So we don't really have any money in the deal unless we're paying monthly holding costs. And actually, I think this one was an 8% interest, but don't quote me on that. So that is our only real skin in the game. So we were definitely above the 15% return mark after 6 months. So we far exceeded that. And then the 6-month profit will be 50% or greater than the rehab cost. So what do I mean by that? Okay, so if we're doing, $37,000 of rehab or whatever we end up doing, we want to say like, hey, that's time, effort, energy, and risk, and money that's being spent on here. What does that return look like? What is the return on that time and that risk look like? Because if we're spending $100,000 of rehab, that's a lot of headaches. That's a lot of risk. That's a lot of management. That's a lot of time. You're gonna spend $100,000 of time, effort, energy, and risk and make $10,000? No. At a minimum, you'd want to make 50% of that. Say, if I'm going to put in that time, energy, and effort, I want to make at least 50 grand. In different markets, we try to make it that, hey, we want to say, if we're doing 50K in rehab, we want to make a 50K profit. It's hard to do in this market. Now, is that a good target to have? Yeah, sure. But also, there's economies of scale, right? So I've got full-time construction assistant, full-time construction manager, all of our crews built out. So I'm able to leverage that and get a little bit lower, return there and still be able to leverage others and leverage my time. But you got to figure out what's good for you, right? What's going to work for you. So these are some of the numbers that we look at. And it's kind of a behind the scenes look at, like, hey, I get it. $59,000 net profit in 71 days. Okay, that's close to $1,000 a day. This is more than I made working a year at my corporate job before I quit and went full time doing this, right? So it's nothing to sneeze at. And so I know a lot of you guys want to go out there and you want to start flipping houses, and I encourage you to do that. But I also encourage you to have the right systems, the right processes behind your business, right? And making sure that you have the right foundation to go out there and flourish, not go out there and fail and flop, what I see a lot of people doing. So this gives you some of the insights behind the scenes and what we're doing. If you'd like to learn more, about the 7 fundamentals, I've got some training that I do with people. I do want some one-on-one and small group coaching, teaching people about the 7 fundamentals. So hit me up. Feel free to shoot me a private message or post it in the comments, and someone, myself or someone from my team, will be in touch and show you how to begin to build your own business models and systems like we use. But anyways, hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this case study. I know y'all been asking for more of these. I'm going to continue to put these out and show you guys what we're doing real live in our business today. So if you got value from that, take just 2 seconds, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already, and we'll talk to you on the next one.